Welcome back, tribe. How many of you have grown up in the church? Not just the Christian church, but any kind of church. How many of you have grown up around holy men and women within your faith that you may have talked to, sought counseling from, or just given a friendly handshake to after they delivered a sermon? Those of you who have experienced these interactions know just how important it is to be able to trust the holy men and women who work for the church, or for the faith in essence. But today we are going to talk about holy men who have broken their vows in a very extreme way, going so far as to commit murder. Back in 1980, Father Gerald Robinson was the first person on the scene when there was the discovery of a murdered nun by the name of Sister Margaret Ann Paul. She was 71 years old at the time. She had been strangled and stabbed 9 times in the shape of an inverted cross. Then her murderer had, I don't know why, but he had thought to cover her up with a sheet or something like that, and then proceeded to stab her another 22 times post-mortem. Now, at the time, back in the 1980s, the forensic sciences weren't all that great, so they were unable to determine who the murderer was. Flash forward about 26 years, the case was still unsolved. They ran some of the DNA through the forensic science labs. Lo and behold, we find out that the murderer himself was Father Gerald Robinson. And he actually died in prison while he was waiting to have the case appealed. But according to the reports, the forensics were very spot on. They definitely believed that he was the murderer. Now, to talk about a local case over in my neck of the woods-ish, kind of. Texas is pretty big, so yeah. This case involves Reverend Michael Tabb. Now, Tabb was convicted of murdering his wife and was given 55 years in prison. This all happened after his wife's body had been discovered in their bedroom at the local parsonage very recently after the couple had moved to take over a local Methodist church. Now, this all occurred in Troop, Texas, back in 2002, so not that long ago, and Troop honestly is not that far away from me. I believe I've been there a couple of times. Now, once law enforcement started looking into the history of the couple, they realized there had been previous cases of physical assault in the past. There was huge alcohol issues with Michael Tabb, and the Reverend was convicted. He was definitely considered guilty during the trial. Now, I know these are only 2 cases, and that's not like a whole lot, and I know today's video is going to be horrendously short because I didn't have as much time to prepare as I wanted. But whatever, we're gonna get this video up, damn it. But I did, over the course of my research, find several different cases. But there seem to be some very common themes with the whole holy man turned killer thing. And a couple of the common themes included either they did not want their pasts to come out because they were trying to move on and like become these pastors and fathers and reverends and all this good stuff. And a lot of the times they already had convictions of murder or sexual assault and things like that in their past, which then it's not really a surprise. But the biggest commonality I found between holy men and, the reason behind why they were killing were affairs. Affairs. They would start getting laid by some girl in the church, either who was married themselves or divorced or widowed or whatever. They started getting some side business from one of the church-going ladies and either wanted to get their own wife out of the way so they'd kill their own wife, or they wanted to get her husband out of the way so they would kill her husband. How sad is that? How sad is that? I know it's a sad world we live in that shit like this happens at all, but we have to remember that just because these cases happen, now the cases that I saw, even though there were quite a few of them, they did span decades. So I don't want anybody getting it into their head that like all holy men are hiding these deep, dark secrets and they're just nasty individuals. I'm not trying to say that at all. Most pastors and reverends and fathers and all these awesome people do have God's work on their minds and are just, making a living doing what they love. However, we do have to remember that just like in cases of killer cops, killer doctors, killer lawyers, killer judges, killer pastors, these are all regular old human men. And as we found from all the different true crime cases we've gone over, all the different things that have happened in this world throughout the dawn of humanity. But at the end of the day, we have to remember that within the hearts of all human men and women hides the capability to do immense good and immense evil. So just because these men are doing work that is holier than most does not excuse them from that. So I just say that because even though we want to say, hey, a pastor would never do such a thing, I can trust them with anything, you have to remember that it is still a human being, and sometimes human beings lose it. So yeah, another really short video today, guys. I'm sorry about the really shortness. Some of y'all are probably like, whoo, it wasn't, 20 minutes of her rambling like a psycho. But I'm really enjoying school. I'm really enjoying my new job, and I hope you guys are having a great month as well. And I'm so excited because Halloween is right around the corner. So with that, be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, share, comment down below with your thoughts, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.